So without further ado, would you please all join me in welcoming our very special guest today, the UK racing commentator, David Fitzgerald.
Thank you.
David, welcome to the seminar. And before we talk about David Fitzgerald, the racing announcer, or the racing commentator as you're called over in England, let's talk about David Fitzgerald, the person. Just a quick little update on how you got involved in racing. Were your parents involved in racing? Did you stumble onto the racetrack one day with a bunch of friends? How did your career all begin?
It was probably through my dad, really, because he always used to watch on the television of a Saturday. He liked a little bet, etc. And I got into racing very young, when I was about 4 or 5, and mainly jump racing, if I'm honest. The interest in flat racing came later on, and used to take us to tracks like Sandown Park, Fontwell Park. My mother used to come, my grandfather as well. So yeah, I got into it very young, and I suppose my passion for it's been inoperable ever since.
And how did you decide that you wanted to become a racing announcer, David? What kind of fueled that passion?
I suppose it was listening to some of the fabulous announcers there were, in like late Sir Peter O'Sullivan. I grew up listening to Simon Holt, Australian commentator Jim McGrath. They just always found the words at the end to add to it, and I just wanted to do it from a very young age. But it's quite frustrating when you want to do that from a young age, because no one's going to take you seriously until your voice develops a little bit. So you just had to be patient. But probably from about 16, I knew that's what I wanted to try and do it if I could.
David uses the terminology young age. He's 31 years young, and he's already auditioning for the Santa Anita announcer position. We're going to take a quick break, turn over the microphone to David for the last-minute program changes. Once he concludes with that, we'll resume the seminar here and find out a little bit more about David's background. Thanks so much for tuning in.